Okay. You want to talk about the video?
Yes. So, what I put in was just like kind of where we're at, and then we'll get on to the video. But so the whole time we were waiting, like when we were in contact with you, so we did finally get our loan. It's approved, got sent to our bank account, and then so the next steps we were going to take with that is we got after fees and administration stuff, we're at $44,800 in the account. That's kind of what we got to play with right now. So our first order of business was going to be getting a trailer that we can do just kind of general jobs with and stuff like that. And that was going to be an outright payment. So we own it. We don't have no
monthly
extra
payments, no nothing.
nothing like that. And then we were getting a large down payment of $20,000 on a truck to kind of get to and from. We can put our branding on the side of it, kind of get our name out there. And then just kind of a tank for fuel in the back, and then some excess tools was kind of leftover money, and then hopefully
we have around $5,000 ish left over
after the essentials to run what we do, the truck and trailer.
Okay. Oops. Sorry, give me a second. I'm trying to keep a straight face, but there's a horrified man inside his face after hearing what you guys just said.
All right.
So can we have a real conversation?
Yeah. Yep.
That if I was advising you, if you were paying clients, I would be asking you to fly down here and we need to have a talk, because whatever we've done in the past hasn't worked and you guys are going in the wrong direction. So let's talk about that for a second. There's a 96% failure rate in businesses today. Okay. Actually, sorry, that number is before the virus. We don't know what the number is today. I'm assuming it's higher. And for you to spend almost $50,000 on a loan, and here is something that I want you to look at. Are you familiar with Gary Vaynerchuk?
I've seen his stuff.
Okay, you need to watch his stuff because he's a firm believer that you should never borrow money to start a business. Because when you start a business, and you kind of proved his theory and my theory as well, that when you didn't work, when you didn't bleed for the money, it goes through the company really quickly.
Yeah.
Okay. It evaporates really quickly because you didn't bleed for that money. If you bled for that $50,000, trust me, it wouldn't be as easy as you just blurted out, we're going to have $5,000 left. It would not be that easy. Trust me. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with borrowing money. So the stuff you call essentials,
yeah,
are the stuff that I call luxuries.
How so in this, like in our industry? How is
okay?
How
Well, see, we're jumping forward 10 steps, and we haven't really had a real conversation about the first 2 steps, right? The first step is, where do you want to be in 5 years, right? Because I don't think you have answered that question yet, because had you answered that question with proper advisors in front of you, you wouldn't have made that decision. So let's backtrack. Where do you guys want to be in 5 years?
running a successful construction type business.
Okay, what does that mean? Give me more detail.
Hands off in 5 years for the most part. Crew of
Okay.
guys just managing the progress of jobs, but not actually getting our hands dirty every day. Would be
Okay,
nice.
so the important part is hands off, correct?
Yeah.
Hands off. I usually tell clients, if you don't want something 10 years from today, don't design it into your business today. Don't design it into your business from day one, unless it's absolutely impossible. And to me, there's nothing impossible. Okay.
Yep.
We design very lean companies. I know you don't like debt, and that's probably a good fear, but that's a fear you need to manage. You need to control. Okay. If I were to take, let's say, $1 million and buy 10 million or $20 million worth of real estate that's appreciating between 15 and 20%, is that a good debt?
Yeah.
Of course,
Yeah.
I would do that every day. The only time it becomes bad debt is if the economy turns around and prices start dropping by 20%. Now it becomes bad debt. But if it's in an up market and we're at the beginning of that up market because you've done a lot of research, right? I've done research going back to 1920 about the booms and busts real estate, and these things are kind of predictable. Okay, in 1989, we were buying and selling 12 houses. I sold my last 3 houses as the economy went that. Okay, I had a couple of months to spare, and to me, that was kind of close for comfort. Okay,
Mhm.
so this stuff is going to happen, right? So in a business, a well-designed business is, let's say you take, $10,000 or $50,000, you design a business. And I do mean design a business, just like you would sit down to design a custom home. Okay.
Mhm.
You sit down, you design the business, every aspect of that business, policy and procedure manual, training videos, sales procedures. I mean, everything, right? You sit down and you design the business. You figure out when launch date is going to be, hopefully 1 to 5 years down the road, because you need to do 1 to 5 years of organic marketing, right? You start the salespeople, about 30 days before launching the company. You start a crew about a week before you launch the company, okay? Then that way, launch day comes, you already have, 5 or 10 contracts signed, ready to go. You already have 1, 2, or 3 trained crews signed and ready to go. Launch day, you start working on these projects. Okay, that's what a well-designed business looks like. A well-designed business does not invest a lot of capital. A well-designed construction business uses subcontractors who have their own equipment. So the idea is to design a business that is very light, very nimble, and doesn't have a lot of assets. The assets are intellectual property, branding, training videos, right? Those are your assets. Equipment is something your employees or subcontractors own. Okay. And if you have to own something, it's better to lease the equipment so you can
Once the lease is done, get a new lease.
or do a lease with a $10 buyback. Then that way you're getting the benefits of the write-offs, right? Because you're going to make profit and you're going to need to write off stuff, right? So it's about building a strategy where you're minimizing your taxes. You're going to pay a lot of taxes. You might as well try to minimize it, right? So equipment, I don't care if it's a Bobcat or a front end loader or a trailer or a truck, you lease it, and preferably leasing used equipment so somebody else paid the depreciation. Because as soon as you drive off the lot, you've lost 20 grand in about 10 seconds. As soon as you cross that sidewalk, there goes 20 grand. Who's going to pay for that 20 grand? Hopefully somebody else did. Okay. So if you buy, trucks that are, still in good shape, because we have leasing companies that will lease used equipment. And what we do is we tell them, hey, bump up that lease by $4,000 or $5,000 because we need to add the truck wrap to it, and I want the truck wrap to be part of the lease. Okay.
They do that? Like certain companies do that?
They do that. I mean, we send them a lot of business, so we ask for favors, and yes, they do that. They don't do that for everyone. And, if you call leasing companies, they say, no, we can't do that. But
And
it
don't-
depends on how much business you throw them their way.
And doesn't like just say, for instance, Dodge or Chevrolet, they lease trucks through their own, like through Dodge and Chevrolet, no? Or is that through the private company you're talking about?
No, you can lease brand new vehicles as well,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
Because if you're going to lease, a truck, Mercedes vans and Bobcats and front end loaders and office equipment, it's better to go with a leasing company to do all that stuff. Because if you have to deal with Ford leasing and then privately, it's volume pricing is where you need to look at. So the idea is to keep as much of that $50,000 as liquid capital as much as possible, because you're going to need capital for marketing. Marketing is a better investment than a truck is. A truck is depreciation. It's not even an asset. It's a liability, right?
Yeah.
I understand you guys need to move around, but I'd rather see you buy, a 3,000 or 4,000 vehicle or lease that vehicle. The problem is when the vehicle gets too old, nobody wants to lease it. So generally it has to be around the 15, 20,000 range in order to lease it. So it's better to get, something that's, that only has 100,000 kilometers on it, and you can lease that. Okay.
Yes. So the leasing,
Mhm.
how does that work for payment wise? You can't just go and you're not just borrowing a truck for 2 years. Is it like cheaper monthly than it would be to just
No, it's not cheaper monthly. No, it's usually anywhere from $1,200 to $1,500 a month for a vehicle. But keep in mind that it's either you pay it to the leasing company or you pay it in taxes. But at least you have a vehicle with a $10 buyback. So at the end of the lease, you pay $10, now you own it. Or $1 or $1,000 or whatever that is.
okay?
Okay.
I see what you're saying now.
So
For what we do with, just for instance, that because that'll like the truck that we end up getting will be a personal vehicle as well as a company vehicle. So things could happen, like dents or whatever.
Yeah.
And if you lease, it's not technically yours. When you buy something,
It is yours when you have a buyback. If you have the intention of buying it, because keep in mind, most businesses put a lot of mileage on trucks, and
Yeah.
with a lease, you can pay through your nose if you put too many miles on the vehicle.
Yeah.
That's why the intention is to buy it, and that's why you want a buyback agreement that's favorable to you.
Okay. And you just make that deal with them, like specific things in the agreement for the lease, like you said, the wrap and then so on, like dent coverages and stuff. Okay.
Well, you don't care about dent coverage because it's your truck, right?
Yeah.
I mean, of course you care, but
But like, you from getting in shit from this so-called company for doing that.
Right.
All right. So where should our next steps with this money go? Because we got it now, like it's here. And like this all started pre-talking to you, like the requested amount. Like we didn't
It's back in March.
Yeah, we didn't even know your name when we were asked two young kids, what do we want to start a business? And we said, well, that's $50,000. So like that's kind of where this is coming from. Like we didn't start talking to you, skip a bunch of steps, get this money kind of deal.
I understand. See, what you have to understand is getting equipment is the easy part. The hard part about running a business is getting clients lined up with signed contracts lined up. That's the hard part, right?
100%.
Fulfilling those contracts on a timely basis, on time, on budget, that is the challenge. Getting everybody to show up to work every day, that is the challenge. Okay. Getting great reviews, that is the challenge. So
Yeah.
you're going to need that money for marketing purposes, for branding purposes, for differentiation purposes, right? So, and the biggest challenge you're going to have is the same challenge that I had when I started my company at 17 years old, right? You guys are too young. You're baby face, right? So
Mhm.
your first employee should be someone my age who can be
Yeah.
the face of the company,
Mhm.
right? To deal with the credibility issues. So we need to do, actually, technically, the first employee should be a great bookkeeper. Shortly after that should be 3 virtual assistants to do the stuff that we should have been doing for the past 5 years. Now we've got catch up to do. So now
Yeah.
we're trying to build an airplane and fly it at the same time. Okay, so we've got catch up to do.
Yes.
Okay.
What are these virtual assistants? Because I heard you talking about it in the video you sent us about overqualified. What do they do? Like what? Like
They do social media stuff, answer emails, schedule appointments for you, schedule appointments for your sales team, just do everything social media. They're building trusted relationships with stepping stone relationships with the people that you need to play golf with. You need to, these people are going to give you, $1 million, $2 million worth of work over the next 3 or 5 years.
okay.
Okay.
So
The,
like in the sense of like what stage are companies at right now? And like we go out and we get a virtual assistant. Like where would they take us from here? Like would they grow us exponentially that much?
well, it takes time. One of the, see, we need to sit down. Um, we are, what's the saying? We have the cart before the horse.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, we should have bought the horse a long time ago, um, before buying the cart. We should sit down for lunch or even this weekend to talk about this, talk about, how we set things up in order. One of the first things we need to do is design that business blueprint.
Yep.
I sent you back notes. I also started writing a business blueprint for you. Um, did I send you my copy or
You sent us the first one with like the first quarter of our business plan with notes underneath, but I
right?
think I don't know if you resent one after that or not. I'm not
Well,
too sure.
yeah, then I thought this is too time consuming. We might as well start a document from scratch, and that's what I did. I believe I shared that second document with you
Okay.
a week or two ago, I believe.
Personal email, not the cutting edge one.
Whatever email you use to book these calls.
Okay, yeah, would be mine. Oh, yeah.
So
Uh, yeah, document shared, business plan.
yeah, yeah. So that was a brief outline of what the blueprint should look like. Eventually, that's going to be an 80, 300-page document, but that is an outline to give you ideas of, how I think and what works. And as you're designing your business, you have a brief outline to make some of the decisions.
Okay. Okay. Oh,
Okay.
this is the page that you sent us, like with the notes underneath. Other than that, I don't have.
Okay. So I will send it to you.
Okay.
The reason why I hesitate sending that stuff to you is because unless I put a foundation underneath what I'm saying, it might be misconstrued, or you might think this is this is crazy. How can we do this, right?
Yeah.
So maybe it might be better if you guys have some time this weekend. I have a lunch on Saturday,
Okay.
um, a late lunch on Saturday. We can meet earlier for a coffee or something.
We
So, where are you guys again?
We're in St. George. It's just outside of Hamilton, towards kind
Hamilton.
of.
Okay. Um, is it convenient this weekend, or should we schedule another call?
yeah, we'll make it work.
Yeah, on
Okay.
Saturday.
I think it's important because you guys are, you know, I didn't realize that the funds are in your bank account already, and you know, we need to start planning.
Futurepreneur really pushed us, like getting everything set up and like getting loans already pushed through, and then talking to someone that actually knows what to do. They're kind of doing it ass backwards, just like how we currently are right now. But
Okay.
I mean, now, so not much
Okay.
we can do. Yeah,
Do you mind me asking what the terms are on the loan?
we can get exact. There's two different. So there's a 15,000 and there's a
30,000
30,000. They both have
different loan agreements.
yeah.
What's the interest rate on? So did you get both then?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're yeah. Oh wait. We pull up Futurepreneur on here. It says on the home screen. It was prime rate, and then it was plus a certain. It was plus something, but we don't have.
Oh, so it's Prime Plus. Okay, I got an idea. We don't have to worry about that right now.
Okay.
Send me an email when you find out what it is, or we
Yeah.
can talk about it on Saturday. So one of the things that I want to plant the seed now, so you think about it, so we can discuss it on Saturday, is about overqualification. Okay, that is extremely important, and it really helps, especially in your situation because you guys are so young, right? So you're going to get a lot of questions about, you know, how are you guys qualified to do this work, right? And as soon as you get those types of questions, they're going to start asking, you know, for testimonials and referrals and guarantees and penalties and stuff like that that you really can't afford. I mean, you can never completely eliminate those types of questions, but you can certainly reduce it by 80%. So one of the ways that has been working for some other clients is to brand as a custom home builder. Okay. As a custom home builder, and you get credibility as a custom home builder. So now let's say you're doing bathrooms or painting or flooring or whatever that is, or excavation, whatever that is, it's still a step down. Okay. The example that I gave you about the brain surgeon doing stitches, right? One question was, you know, is it the same price? Well, yeah, it's the same price, right? So if everything being equal, we would rather have someone that's overqualified than someone that just barely has experience.
Okay.
So that example in that video, the brain surgeon had 45 years of experience compared to the intern. But how could we do that? So, you know, kind of in our general area.
So
Right.
we would brand. So if I'm understanding this correctly, we would brand as a custom home building company instead of excavation. And then if someone needs excavation, we say, oh, our part of our services, we do that. Like it's not our whole service, but it's a slice of it. So they're
Yeah.
thinking
It's a division or a sister company.
oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Because
I
to
see.
build a custom home, you need to excavate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Okay. I see where you're coming from now.
And then say it went other places, like we get a call for a custom home instead of
Okay.
X. How would you play with that?
Well, and that has happened. I don't know if you saw one of the videos where we expected it was going to be 2 or 3 years before that happened. It happened within the first 3 months. So
Okay.
either you can sub that lead out to a custom home builder, or you prepare yourself to become that if that's your desire. You know, get to carry on qualifications, you know, become a licensed custom home builder. Then you have all the choices in the world. You can build custom homes, or you can just do additions, or you can just do excavation. But the thing is to have choices.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I know you didn't, you know, jump into this thinking or having the desire to be custom home builders, but why not go for the most profitable products?
Yeah, we've always thought that we wanted to start as excavation and then in the future be the company that goes from planning the blueprints to having someone come in and do the foundation to part of the company does the pours the foundation and then like from start to finish, a company that is start to finish pretty well.
Okay.
That's what in the future we were
Yeah.
Yeah.
thinking.
So now we are designing a custom home builder. We're doing organic marketing, and hopefully in 5 years, you guys can start building custom homes. If anything happens before then have a relationship with a custom home builder you can sub that work to, and you get a kickback, you get a finder's fee or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we shoot for 5 years, the first custom home being built, but everything up to that is the like the overqualified. Like we're custom home builders. We haven't built a home yet, but we'll do your excavation or we'll do your such and such for you. That's kind of
Exactly.
what we're going.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that.
What
Yeah.
what we're finding is that when we do brand them, the conversation is, well, I don't think they're going to want to do this bathroom, but they say they do bathrooms, so I'm going to fill the requested code and see what happens, right?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
there's different websites that are part of the same group of families, right? Um, and this bathroom website is part of this custom home builder family. Okay. So even though this company specializes in only doing bathrooms, it's part of a larger organization to give it credibility.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
So then
It,
if
it,
you,
it
sorry, you carry on.
it's about building a trust foundation that looks solid and is solid from the outside. Internally, it looks different. Internally, all the invoices and everything could go through whatever company you have designed already, whatever bank account you have already. So that is the holding company. Then under the holding company, you have different brands. Okay.
All right. Yeah.
So as I was saying there, so if we got our general contracting license then per se, and something came up that someone wants a full custom from foundation to finished home to final grade, we could then legally contract that home out, right? We don't have to just give the job to a different company. We could
Well,
call.
not with the general contractor's license. You need a builder's license to do that. You need the Terion license.
Okay.
Okay. Which, you study for a month and, most people pass it, but you have to study for a month.
Yeah.
Right. Um,
Oh.
and, I can connect you with people who have done it and tell you, what the questions are going to be and what sections to pay attention to. But if you study, a couple of hours a day, because these people are running businesses, right? So they study a couple of hours a day, 8 hours on the weekend, you'll pass it within probably 30 days of
Yeah.
studying. Okay. So it's not that difficult.
All right. What do we got here? It's about 30 minutes here. Do you want us to like look over, brush up on stuff before our meeting on Saturday with you?
No, I think I want to share the document with you because, it's kind of unusual. And just like you watch the video, and even though you're watching a video, it still doesn't make sense.
Yep.
So explaining it to you might be better for you to understand why we have those policies, because it's a lot of policies that create differentiation, but you need to understand why the policy is in place and how we're going to use it to create the differentiation.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, it's a less than a 10 page document, so it's not a big deal.
Okay. So should we look into this lease thing now, or is that still too early?
No, don't do anything between now and Saturday. I just want you to be comfortable with the ideas that we've talked about so far.
Yep.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, this is being sprung on me at, without any forethought. And generally what we ask is when you schedule a meeting like this, when you fill in the agenda, here are the things we're going to talk about. then I could have been a little more prepared for this meeting.
Yeah, so I should have been more specific about okay,
Yeah.
about numbers.
Yeah, feel free to send a separate email to say, okay, point number 1, point number 2, point number 3, and any questions you may have, then that way my assistant can do some research. If we need to pull up files or whatever it is, then we're prepared for the meeting. I mean, as much as possible.
Yeah,
Okay.
And it's not like you can't go off the agenda. Of course you can. It's a conversation. And if we don't tackle everything on the list, then that could be for the next call. But the thing
Yeah.
is to tackle one thing and tackle it and as deep as you need to, because we absorb information when we're ready to absorb the information. If I were to send you the document, you know, a 300-page document of the business blueprint, it's going to be information overload. You're not ready to absorb that information, and you're only going to remember the parts of the business blueprint that you had questions about. Everything else is going to be garbage until that comes up, until you have the need to absorb the rest. Okay, that's why it has to be digestible chunks so we can absorb and it becomes part of our lifestyle.
Okay.
all right. Should I book this coffee on Saturday through your Calendly thing, or
Yeah,
pencil it in?
we can do it now. I mean, I need to be in Aurora for 3 o'clock. So if we meet, 12, 1 o'clock,
Yeah,
if we can meet at Square One Shopping Mall, that would be great. And that way I can go straight to Aurora from there.
all right.
Um, um,
Where's is that in Hamilton? The Square
no,
One?
that's in Mississauga.
I've heard that before. I just wasn't sure what it was.
Yeah. Mississauga. I mean, there's a number of restaurants. I don't know if they're going to need a reservation or not, but I mean, if they're too busy, we can meet in the food court or something, but the food court might be really, really noisy.
Yeah, it might be a bit distracting.
Yeah. What's the restaurant that I like going there? I forget the name of the restaurant.
Just shoot an email to me or
Yeah.
something, and we get her going. But
And around
Yep.
12, you said?
Yeah. Yeah, 11:30, 12 o'clock.
yeah, we can get there anytime that you need.
Whatever you
Make
want.
it 12. Make it
All right.
12.
Perfect.
And bring whatever documentation you have, or send me details about the loan. Make some notes about what type of vehicles you were thinking of getting. Also, any pictures of work you have done, send it to me beforehand.
All right.
Now me and him are a crew at our own work now. Like it's us two. We still don't have any jobs that we've done with our company, but we have jobs that's just been us two through the company we work full time for. We
Right.
still want to see pictures.
Yes, but get permission from your current boss to say, hey, Mr. Boss, we did most of the work here. Can we use this as part of, do you have that kind of relationship? Can you ask?
We can ask.
We can ask our supervisor, like the lead
Yeah.
hand, I guess. Oh,
And I
boss.
believe you told me
Yep.
he knows that you're starting your own business.
Yeah.
Okay, so don't get fired over this.
Yeah, no.
And be selective what you tell them. I don't think you want to tell them that you received the money, because most people think about starting a business, but it's always a dream and it never happens.
Yeah.
But so if you tell him you already have the loan, then he knows now it's imminent, you're going to quit.
Yeah.
So
Might
be
make it
careful
tougher.
what you say.
Yeah. We'll just ask for the pictures to show a person of interest about helping us pursue this business dream.
Yeah. And you want it in writing, so you kind of want to ask it in an email, so you have proof that you asked for it and he said okay, right? And then you print it out. I don't think it's going to come to that, but you want to protect yourself as much as possible.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And we should put a do you have a website already, or?
No, we don't.
Okay, so that's something that should have been done 5 years ago. So we need to build a website, and we need to put a disclaimer that, you did partial labor on some of these pictures, that sort of thing. Okay, the other thing, did you watch the videos about the business in the box?
I
Uh,
did not see it.
didn't go through much of like your actual YouTube, just the one that you sent us about the overqualified.
Okay. There's over 500 videos on there, and you have to do searches, and a lot of the videos are private. What we do is we have over 10,000 pre-designed aging websites. These websites are aging like fine wine. Have we talked about this?
No, but I remember hearing that in your video you did send us to the same one with the 45-year-old brain surgeon.
Okay. So I mean, we can look at some of the websites that have been aging and repurpose them for your purpose. Then that way you're not waiting, for 3 or 4 years before Google, ranks it and gives it some authority.
Yeah.
And to answer your question, what do the virtual assistants do? They're writing content, they're posting content, they're doing SEO for the websites. They're building stepping stone relationships for future potential clients. They're building relationship with custom home builders who are going to need your excavation services and stuff like that. I need to have a better idea what type of work you do, so I know what type of skills it is, so we can start that planning process. So spend an hour, send me some pictures, even though you don't have any authority to use those pictures. Those pictures are for my purposes only, so I can get a sense of what you're doing. Okay.
Okay.
Or what you would like to do, that's more important.
Yeah.
Okay, and also if you don't understand because some of the pictures, it's unless you're there, you don't really understand what's going on. We could just explain them to you also on Saturday what's going on in the
Okay.
start, what or whatnot.
Is there some
Sometimes-
pictures you can show me now if I allow you to share the screen? Is it Reddit?
Not on the tablet we're using now. It's on my phone. Like
I see.
pretty crude of me to show it like that. Wouldn't really get
Mhm.
much out.
Is that a BlackBerry?
No, no. I swear it's not.
Okay, I thought it looked like a BlackBerry for a second. And I'm thinking, what the?
Oh yeah.
time.
Yeah, I was about to say we need to have the conversation about technology. So okay. Speaking of technology, you guys have computers, good, reliable computers each.
Yeah.
Okay, not just tablet. You have a good computer, 32 gigabytes of memory.
This
There's-
one's got
there's-
like
there's-
terabytes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And you're also going to need, how fast you guys type?
I can type all right. Like I went through college pretty decent, but I mean we're not 100 words a minute people by any means.
Okay.
Not-
Okay. So voice dictation software, you're going to type at 1,000 words per minute, easily. Okay. So this is what I mean about getting tools ready for you, and your virtual assistants are going to need these tools and these licenses. Okay. So I'll start making a list of the stuff your VAs are going to need, because what you need, they're going to need. And you're also going to need some computers where they can access your computers. So we're going to buy some used computers. The computer that I'm on right now is a Lenovo 32 gigabytes. It's an off-lease computer you can buy for around $800 or something. But it's a substantial computer. And it's pretty reliable. So, and this one's at least 7 years old already.
So you said you leased?
No, we buy these off lease. So when
Oh.
when companies, leasing is a lot more popular than you think. Most companies don't buy anything, especially computers. They lease computers. They have them for 2 years. They get rid of them, then they get new computers every 2 years or so. So we buy these 2-year-old computers. So technically, this is probably 9 or 10 years old.
Oh.
So
I didn't know
Yep.
that was a thing. Okay.
It's a thing. Yep.
All right. We got a lot to talk about.
We do, and it's not just talking about it; it's absorbing and understanding, and acting on the information. Just knowing the information is not enough. It's acting on the information.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right. A pleasure seeing you guys again. We'll see you on Saturday, and I'll send you an email.
All right,
Sounds good. Talk to you.
All right.
Take care.
Have a good night.